Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode. I'm so excited to be back with you guys. It feels like these months just honestly fly by. I record one of these things and it's like it's supposed to be a month later and it feels like a week later and I'm right back in here. But it's awesome because I love doing this. And the person I have with me today, I'm very excited to talk to because this is someone who does some very cool stuff. It's some things that I really don't have any understanding about whatsoever. So I'm going to be learning something today. You're going to be learning something today. And I'm going to get the last name right here. This is Dawn Lasater.
Lasater.
Yes. I screwed it up. I knew I was going to screw it up. Lasater. Okay. She's the site director of the 21st Century Community Learning Center, New Hope. And I don't even want to get into, I'm going to let you explain what it is that you do and what it is that that center does for people here. You can just go ahead and get into that and tell us a little bit about that.
Okay. All right. So I'm Dawn Lasater. I'm site director for New Hope's 21st Century Community Learning Center. What that means is we extend the school day for our students in our program by disguising learning as fun. We give them a safe place to be after school from 2:30 to 5:30 in the afternoon. We hire contractors and to bring in things that normally our students wouldn't have offered to them, like STEM. A lot of new technology, a lot of science with dissection. We have students as young as second grade dissecting starfish and sheep brains and things like that, frogs. And we do a play every year. We put on a huge production, and I feel like it's as good as Lee or Grissom. We do that every year. The reason that we do this is our community wouldn't normally have these opportunities here. We're small, we're in the middle of nowhere, New Hope.
Yeah.
And the powers that be, I'm going to say Andrea Bridges, about 11 years ago got together with some folks and decided that we needed more. We needed to be able to offer our kids more and a safe place to be after school. So wham bam, here we are 11 years later still doing, and our graduation rate is way on up there. We started out, it was really low, and now it's, right really where we need to be, and we're continue growing, and we serve about just under 300 students between the grades, kindergarten and 12th grade. We serve families who are homeless. We serve families who don't have money for food, don't have money for childcare.
Yeah.
We also serve families who have everything in the whole wide world.
Right.
We don't turn anyone away. We bring them all in and we do what we do. We give them love and safety and opportunities that they wouldn't normally have.
Now, something that I've actually heard that what you just said made me think of is, from the hours of 2:45 to 5:30, and I want to sit there because I think you can probably speak to this. That's a time that I would imagine is easy for kids to get into things that they shouldn't get into, because you're talking about I'm getting out of school at 2:45. Parents aren't getting home until 5:30 from work, so there's several hours of dead time there.
Yes,
I can imagine. And so you guys doing it at that time, is that accidental or is that intentional?
it's intentional. And so in the afternoon when we get them, we have to have the right staff, one, because if you're not high energy and, so you're coming in and these kids are cranky.
Right.
A lot of them take medication and their medication has worn off. So their ability to pay attention and follow direction is gone. They are tired, irritable, hungry. We feed them And then we separate them by grade level and put them into clubs, is what we call it. Based on that, and allow them to be kids. They get to use their own mind, create things, do things, act out feelings and emotions and things like that. And it's just it's a safe environment for them to be in. You would have to see it and experience it to truly understand the benefit of what we do in the afternoons.
Well, the funny thing is that, before we came on, I had mentioned that I didn't really know, I've never heard of this before. And I'm realizing this right now in the middle of this, that I'm actually wrong. I have heard of what you guys do. And the reason why I've heard of it is because that time that you mentioned, I've heard about, programs that are out here that is your program, that does that. And I've actually heard from people even around here how instrumental that's been in so many kids, and how awesome it's been for, us here at the Care Center to work with you and what you're doing and everything. So that's I think that's awesome.
In our program, we focus more on social and emotional learning. We focus on emotions are real, feelings are real, and you're allowed to have them, and you're allowed to say that you have them, and we help teach them how to cope and deal with that. And all of those things are part of learning that aren't necessarily happening anymore. In our area, we have phenomenal teachers that spend an awful lot of time trying to maneuver different behaviors and issues in the classroom that they've not had to deal with before. And a lot of these are new and always happening, and I just feel like we're lucky here at New Hope. We're lucky at Crossroads. I've been at Crossroads for a number of years, and now I'm at New Hope, and we're extremely lucky with the teachers that we have and the way that they deal with those things. As far as academics, by far we have the best teachers in this area.
Yeah. I've noticed this within kids, and I'm in my early 20s, and I'm even seeing this in my generation, but it seems like these days people don't know how to have a conversation.
No, and people don't know how to disagree without not being friends. We actually have to teach our students that you are allowed to disagree with someone and remain friends civil, and we've lost the ability to do that as adults. It's kind of insane.
Well, I think what you're saying about technology is spot on. I mean, I think that we've been so consumed with that. So many people, there's a way to manage it, but if you're not taught how to manage that, and I don't personally see people getting taught that much as they should, then you grow up, and there's just a lot of social things that you're just missing. So it's definitely it's interesting to watch and hear your perspective on it. And we were talking about something else too, that we mentioned before we went on, and kind of getting on your involvement here at the Care Center. And I know that you've been very involved here. The word that I heard was intergenerational, and I know you've got what sounds like a really cool story behind how you have been involved intergenerationally with the Care Center. Share that with me and with us, if you don't mind.
No, I don't mind. When the clubs program first started, my children were in elementary school. My daughter Jordan, she and my daughter Reagan grew up in the after-school program. When it first started, nobody really understood what it was, other than, holy cow, we have clubs after school. This is so cool. So my girls asked me if they could sign up and do it, and I said sure. So both of them have been in every play that the school has put on, and they were both involved in the clubs after school. And I just kind of thought, okay, this is a really neat opportunity for the kids to do, and
and they grew up in this area.
And they grew up in this.
Yeah.
And pretty close to 6 years ago, Andrea Bridges gave me a call. She recruited me and asked me what I thought about coming on at Crossroads and helping out and kind of building the program up there. And I wasn't real sure what that meant. So I said yes. The principal there was Adam Hampton, and they brought me on, and I came in and just jumped right in, not really understanding what that role looked like. I learned very quickly what homelessness is.
Yeah.
I learned very quickly about poverty and what that looks like in children.
Yeah.
Mental illness,
Right.
and just a very different family dynamic, and that's how I got started in it. And my daughter Jordan, who is just about 21, she went through the Care Center's Ignite program after she graduated from high school, and they helped her get through college. And she now works for a dermatology clinic in Huntsville.
That's awesome.
And she would not be through this and successful had it not been for the Care Center.
Wow.
And now my youngest daughter, Reagan, also now works for the Care Center as a team lead for our summer program.
Wow.
Which I'm a super proud mama for.
Yeah, absolutely.
Watching and seeing and just getting to be on both sides of this. Both my girls have always been very active in the community and with the Care Center. Jordan, every play. Reagan, every play. Jordan, very involved with the show choir that the Care Center started, and then just being a youth leader and volunteering her hours and spending time with, the kids that need time spent with them. Jordan worked several summers for our summer program and through the school year, and coached for their color guard and still does, and all that stuff happened because of the time that she spent in the program here at the Care Center.
Everybody that's listening has heard me talk about this before. And I don't think there's been a single time that I've gone on here and I haven't said this. Mm-hmm. And I'm going to take yet another opportunity to say it again. This is another great example of people that take their time in different respects and put that time into the kind of things that we're doing here. And the results, I mean, it's right here. Mm-hmm. You just heard it. You just heard it. And this is why we do what we do. It's not to pull out a stat sheet and say, look what we did.
No.
It's because there's literally people that went from nothing to survivability. Mm-hmm. And there's, I say this all the time, but I always think there's somebody that's listening to this that wants to get involved here. And they're thinking, man, I can't, what do I have to bring to the table?
Everything in the world.
There it is.
Yep.
There it is. And that's what I say. Mm-hmm. You see it right there. This is somebody who's been there, done that, who sees this every day. Mm-hmm. And you just heard it. Everything in the world. Doesn't matter what you think you do or don't have. Mm-hmm. You really, all it takes, the only step that's required is to show up.
Yep.
And that's really it. But I want to come back to that at the end here. But before we do, I have a question. I'm curious about something. Mm-hmm. What you do. It's kind of one of those things where there's not too many people that can do it and do it well. And working with kids, especially in the situations that you do, I imagine that you've had to learn. You've had to kind of pick up some secret sauces in a sense of
lots of training.
Yeah. What would you say to maybe somebody who's maybe getting started in the area that you're in right now that's hearing this? Any advice that you might give to them and even to educators, that are dealing with this every day. It's a tough world, as you know. But what would you say to somebody like that?
Just breathe. Just breathe.
Yeah.
Sometimes just hugging someone, hugging a child is all you need to do.
Yeah.
Just give them a hug. Just give them a hug. Don't give them a side hug. Don't give them a pat. Hug that baby. Hug that baby. Don't worry about it. Just hug that baby. And they're going to know that you love them. They're going to know that they're okay. That's been my experience. And there have been heart-breaking experiences since I've started this. And I have gone home and cried and said, I don't want to do this anymore. This is more than I can handle. And then show up the next day and have the child that I'm worried about or can't sleep over in my office bringing me a love note or, drew me a picture, I love you, Miss Dawn, that kind of thing. That's why I'm here. It's all because of the kids.
We've all had teachers, we've all had people in our lives that we even remember sometimes from an early age that made an impact. And you hear so many times kids that grow up and they say, I had this teacher in second grade, or I had this, this person that, at a summer camp, right? Which is something that you're no stranger to as well. And you hear it's kind of a common phrase. It's like that person made a huge impact in my life. That person that they said something, or it's usually not like, over this course of time, it's usually like, no, I had this day when everything was going wrong for second grade me or whatever it was. And that person came up and gave me a hug and said, hey, you're special, you matter, you're important to be in this world. And they remember that 10, 20, 30, 40. They never forget it in many cases. So I think that's bang on. But speaking of summer camps, again, something you're no stranger to.
True.
Tell me and tell everybody just a little bit, as much as you can, about kind of the Learning Center and the summer camps, and maybe what it's like, and any cool stories that you might want to share from those experiences.
Okay, so this year is a little different than normal. Our normal summer camp is 21st Century. We partner with the YMCA. It is rock star from 7 a.m. till 5:30 in the afternoon. Party time. We disguise learning as fun. We dance. We have dance parties, brain breaks,
That's how you know it's long if somebody says 5:30 in the afternoon.
Oh, yes.
That's evening.
10 and a half hours of
Like,
fantastic on. You are on. Everybody's having a great time. We actually handpick our staff for summer because you have to be high energy, ready for just to be a rock star. And that's our favorite time of the year. Summer is it. And we get 5 weeks of just, oh my gosh. And our kids love summer camp. This year is just a tad bit different because of the literacy program, but we're knocking it out of the park. So all 3 of our sites are. So I can't say enough about summer camp. Summer camp, they have all the same opportunities they do during the school year. They're just a little bit longer and a little bit more intense and a little bit more fun. And it's just if you have an opportunity to put your kid in summer camp, you should totally do it. Our programs are off the chart.
What's the biggest need for you right now in those areas? Is there anything that is kind of a need right now for you guys as you're doing all this stuff?
People.
Yeah.
Our need is people. Our need is people who care, people who love children, people who just mentors. We need young people. We need people to just be there. That's all.
Yeah.
That's what we need.
How if I'm somebody that's listening to this and I'm hearing you talk about this stuff and I'm going, man, I want to get involved in that. Like I'm one of those people. What's the first step that I should take?
Just call me.
Yeah.
Just call me and I'll walk you through it. I have at least, I'm going to say 30 to 40 students who could just use a buddy, that could just use a big brother or a big sister, just have someone to say, hey, I care about you. Let's go play some basketball. Just people. That's all. Just people. No, you don't have to have any special requirements. There's no special training. There's no special anything. Just show up. Show up and care. That's it.
The last podcast I did, if you guys remember, I had Grant on here, Grant Preston, who's a board member here at the Care Center and just an incredible person. And, he runs a men's Bible study here. And if you want to hear more about that, you can go back and listen to the last episode. It was incredible. But something that same thing as what you're saying. I mean, he talked about how he said, I'm not running this thing trying to be this sophisticated, I'm up here and I'm going to preach down to everybody. He said, I walk in there because there's men around here that just need a friend. Yeah. And there's people here that they just need to be able to, just like you're saying. I was talking to him about a young person that I've been mentoring for, I would say, a few months now, and I never thought of myself as like there was a point in my life where I was like, I can't do that. I mean, even from my past and what I'm coming from, it's like there's no way. Like what do I have to bring to the table? But I can attest personally. And take it for whatever it's worth for me. But it's two people here sitting here telling you that's exactly what it is. Yeah. That is the biggest need right now. So many people think, it's this hard work and I need to, it's, spreadsheets and no. It's literally just that. And that makes the world of difference. What's it's something that I wanted to ask you too, and it's kind of in this same vein, but what surprised you the most about working with the Care Center and just in your role? Because I imagine obviously you've probably had a lot of things that have, I would think, surprised you, or maybe kind of you got into it and you imagined it would be one way, but it's been a different way. But what's been the most surprising things to you about what you do?
Wow. A lot. I thought this job was going to be more managerial. I thought it was going to be more, let's get the paperwork done, let's count the numbers, let's do, but it's more emotional, more heart work. It's heavier than I thought it was going to be. Yes, and I love it. I can't imagine me ever doing anything except this. Yeah. I truly believe everything in my life has brought me to this job. Wow. I didn't have the greatest upbringing. I didn't have the best, so to speak, of parents and so on and so forth. I don't really know anybody my age that does, or had. Yeah. But being a mother, being a wife, being a daughter, everything in my life has brought me here. Yeah. And I truly believe that I am where I'm supposed to be. And what surprises me is how much I know I'm supposed to be here. How much I know I need the kids as much as they need me. Yeah. And my family feels the same way. We're all so involved in this area and this program. Yeah. Everyone around me, everyone that's important to me, everyone that is in my family, we are all here and involved in what we do day to day for the Care Center.
I got to wrap this up as much as I don't want to. Listening to this and hearing this story and I knew it was going to be a special one, because it's when I come on and I'm like, I really have no idea what I'm getting myself into. It gives me like a level of excitement to where it's like, man, I have no idea where it's going to go, and that's the beauty about doing this. But I did not plan this last thing before we jump off here and wrap this up. But I want you to, because you just said something there that really grabbed me, and I want you to just expand on it for a second. You made a statement. You said, "I'm surprised at how much I know I'm supposed to be here."
Yeah.
And I don't think it's gonna come as any shock to you that there's a lot of people out there. There's a lot of people that are, kind of, I feel like more of the ages would be like coming out of high school. A lot of people even in their 20s, early 20s, and that they don't really know where they're supposed to be.
Yeah.
Or they think they have an idea of like, I think I'm supposed to be here, but how do I get there? And I think sometimes, and I don't know if you've seen this or you can relate to this, but I think sometimes there's a lot of people that are kind of in that category. A lot of young people, especially, that it feels hopeless.
Yes.
I mean, it kind of feels like, and even if you're really working hard and you're trying to, push things through, but I think a lot of times it can feel pretty hopeless.
Yeah.
I'm really curious. What do you have to say? Just talk to that person real quick and just speak to them for a second before we get off here, if you would.
It's okay.
Yeah.
It's okay.
Yeah.
That's all. It's okay. You don't have to know where you're going. You don't have to know what your future's going to be.
Yeah.
All you have to do is take that step forward and keep going forward. That's it.
Yeah.
That's it. You don't have to feel like you have to know right now. And I think that there's so much pressure in this world on pushing for our kids and our young people to know what their future's supposed to be. And that's, I just don't feel it. I just don't think that is something that we need to continually put that kind of pressure on a kid.
Yeah.
It's okay. It's okay not to know. I never force my kids to know. I have 4. One just graduated with her MBA, and she did that in her 30s all by herself, because she didn't know what she wanted to do when she was younger, and that's okay. It's completely okay.
Yeah.
Don't sweat the small stuff. Don't cry over spilled milk. We've all heard those things.
There you go.
And that is how we need to look at this. We need to look at it. There's so many opportunities out there. Just take one step forward.
Yeah.
Every chance you get, go forward.
I did not know what you were gonna what you were gonna say to that, but that makes a lot of sense, and I think that's I think that you're spot on. There's a lot of I see this even in my own generation and in kids that I mentor and different things that I do that are in that latter years of high school, coming out of high school, and everybody's just like, what are you gonna do?
Yes.
And they're looking, and most of them are, and they're, you have that one or two that they think they know, right?
Yep.
But a lot of people are just looking at you like, I don't know. I'm 18, dude. Like
my daughter Reagan is 18. She just graduated from high school, and they have all the senior things going on. And Reagan says, they ask Reagan, what are you going to do? We're going to announce it to everyone what you're going to do. And Reagan's like, okay, so here's the deal.
Yeah.
I have no idea.
Right.
I'm just going to work for Hot Yoga of Huntsville. That's all I'm going to do. So what do? They announce Reagan is going to work for Hot Yoga of Huntsville. All the other kids are going to college, and Reagan's like, yes, this is what I'm doing. So, don't sweat the small stuff. It's okay.
Hopefully she doesn't listen to this.
It's okay.
All right. Well, listen, thank you again, Dawn, for coming on.
Thanks for having me.
It's an incredible story, and I mean, it's so cool. Like this is the best job in the world. I just get to come in here and listen to people tell all these incredible stories, and just it's awesome. Thank you for what you do. I think that this community is definitely a better place because of it. I know the Care Center is, and I didn't even know that you were the person that ran all that, but I've heard about it inadvertently before, and I didn't put two and two together until we're 4 minutes into this. So that was fun. But again, everybody, I thank you again to, I just want to give a quick shout out to all our partners, our ministry partners, everybody that is financially supporting us. We're here and we're doing this because of you guys. I mean, you guys really make this possible, and it's a team effort. I say this every time, but it's a team. And everybody has different roles here. There's, I believe that God has created everybody with a purpose and different skills and abilities. And the cool thing about the Care Center and the cool thing about what we do is that we have a group of people that are really committed to figuring out what my lane is and staying in it and doing it to the best of our abilities. So a big shout out to our partners again, all of our church partners, financial supporters. Thank you for what you do. And hope you've enjoyed this podcast, and we will see you next time on another episode of The Hand Up. Thanks, guys.